I'd like to call us to order. And would you please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Stanforth, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hairston?
Here.
Ms. Hurd? Mr. Corrado?
Here.
Mr. Hoagie?
Here.
Ms. Howard? Mr. Lumpkin?
Here.
Ms. Matthew Stinson? Mr. Weckeser?
Here.
Mr. Williamson?
Here.
Thank you.
Based on the roll call, we do have a quorum, so we will be able to conduct business. I'd like to get approval of the consent agenda. The agenda is before you. Are there any changes to it? Hearing none, all in favor say aye, that we'll accept the consent agenda.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The minutes of the meeting from December 5th, 2017 were presented for review to all board members prior to today's meeting. Unless there is any board member who requests a reading of the minutes, I will ask if there are any corrections or additions to the minutes as presented. Having heard no requests for a reading of the minutes, nor any corrections or additions to the minutes will stand approved as presented. And it will be my honor to turn the gavel over to the president.
Thank you, Ms. Hairston. I apologize for being late. The next item on the agenda is the committee reports, and these reports are as a result of the work sessions that we held last month, where we discussed everything in detail and received presentations. So we will begin with the Planning Committee. In the absence of the chairperson, Sharon Howard, we'll turn it back over to Ms. Hairston.
I'm almost feeling like I'm being dumped on, but that's okay.
You can handle it.
The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on December 19th, and as a result, the Planning Committee is recommending 2 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2 is the 2018 service modifications. The purpose of this action item is for the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority to modify services to assist in balancing the 2018 budget as a result of statewide managed care organization, MCO, sales tax reductions, in which RTA stands to lose $4.6 million of critical revenue annually. The RTA took into account all community feedback received, and as a result is proposing to preserve Sunday service on Route 19 and 24. The final proposed modifications were also determined based on analysis of ridership on routes, specific trips, time periods experiencing lower ridership, and duplicative service coverage. Maintaining basic geographic service coverage and late night service were also priorities in the final decision of the service modifications. Mr. Palachicchio provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Mr. Palachicchio is also available to answer any questions you may have at this time. Based upon the recommendations of the Planning Committee, I move to approve the 2018 service modifications and that the Chief Executive Officer be authorized to carry out all actions necessary to make these changes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been properly moved and second that we implement the recommended service modifications for 2018. Are there any questions?
Madam President, I just want to comment, the same comment made at committee meetings, that this proposal addresses this revenue loss as it relates to 2018 operational expenses, and that it was our instructions to staff to continue to come up with additional proposals throughout the year, since we will get the one-time payment from the state for 2018 that will partially offset the loss of revenues, but that going forward, we've still got a lot of work to do and pencils to sharpen to address this critical loss of revenues. So I just wanted to really make that comment before we vote on it. I support the motion, but it's not the end of the discussion.
If I could add, Madam President, just to that for a minute, because we've discussed this as a group in a couple prior meetings. This is not the proposal that we put to the public several months ago. This is a very different version. There were several modifications made. We really wish we were able to do more in terms of modification, but in terms of things that we got the most feedback on from the public, first and foremost were the Sunday service on Route 19 and 24 were critical issues, and we've found a way to maintain that in this final proposal, as well as our paratransit or connect or project mobility, however people want to call it. This week, that fare, we had originally proposed to raise that fare, and it will not be raised. It will stay the same as it is under the proposal coming up. And I do want to clarify something that I think there's a little misnomer out there in the discussion of this publicly. There's a suggestion that's been made that we're raising rates for most of our customers, and we're not. Most of our customers are pass users, and pass users will see no increase. Are we encouraging more people to migrate to the passes? Absolutely, because that can help us by reducing the expenses associated with processing things like cash here internally, which help us maintain a higher level of service. I just want to reiterate that a lot of work went into reviewing hundreds and hundreds of comments that were made before, during, and after the public input sessions, and that we did listen and we have reacted to the extent we can. As I said many times during the public meetings, we hope people understand that it's not our desire to reduce services. We were put in this position because of the revenue issue related to the MCO sales tax, and as far as I'm concerned personally, the state's decision to fix its problem for itself and leave the counties and the regional transit authorities in Ohio kind of out in the cold. It leaves us with this problem. The term we were given was you need to be weaned off this revenue. Well, this is what weaning really means. It means people lose access to their bus service. So we'll continue to fight in Columbus to get full funding restored. But I just wanted to reiterate again that, a lot of careful thought went into this, and we did what we could. There are still going to be people negatively impacted, but at least we were able to restore some of the cuts. And as we talked about in our last meeting, we'll be watching this all very closely to make sure we achieve the targets that we projected here so that no further reductions would be necessary by the middle of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. And one other point that we discussed for clarification purposes was that most of the federal money we receive is available for infrastructure and equipment and cannot be used for operations. So that's a pot of money that we can't transfer. So are there any other comments? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. We will be implementing the 2018 service modifications.
Action item number 3, transit fare adjustments. The purpose of this action item is for the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority to adjust fares to increase fare box revenues to assist in balancing the 2018 budget as a result of statewide managed care organization sales tax reductions, in which RTA stands to lose $4.6 million of critical revenue annually. The RTA took into account all community feedback received, and as a result, is proposing to preserve change cards, reduce the adult day pass rate, create a day pass for reduced fare customers, and enhance family travel by increasing the age of children who will qualify for free rides. Mr. Polachicchio provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Mr. Polachicchio is available to answer any questions you may have. Based upon the recommendation of the Planning Committee, I move to approve the transit fare adjustments and adoption of Attachment A, Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority fare structure, to become effective Sunday, February 18, 2018, at 3:01 a.m. Furthermore, that the CEO be authorized to do all things necessary to implement the new fare structure.
Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded, and we adopt the new fare structure to become effective Sunday, February 18th at 3:01 a.m. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will be implementing the new fare structure effective Sunday, February 18th, 2018. You have a report.
That concludes the action items, and I do have a report. In addition, at the committee meeting, Mr. Polachicchio provided a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department. Updates included the one-year anniversary of launching Ride Time to RTA customers, and information on Ride Time product utilization was provided. Transit app at the launch of Ride Time in December 2016 had 707 customer downloads. As of October 2017, downloads of the app increased to 8,646. Another popular Ride Time product, Text for Next Bus, provides customers with an on-demand text messages containing real-time bus arrival information. Analysis has shown that this feature is heavily utilized by customers, and more specifically, those who do not have access to mobile apps on their smartphones. In the month of December 2016, the system delivered 18,990 texts. In October 2017, the system delivered 76,499 texts in just 1 month. The RTA communications team continues to promote all Ride Time products heavily via all communication channels. More information can be found by visiting iRideRTA.org/Ride Time. This concludes my report, Madam President, and Mr. Polachicchio or I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions at this time? Now, thank you for your report. Now we'll go on to the results from the Personnel and Finance Committee meetings. Mr. Lumpkin?
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on December 19th. As a result, the committee is recommending 5 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 4, the adoption of fiscal year 2018 operating and capital budgets. The Greater Dayton RTA's total operating revenues for 2018 are projected at $66.96 million, while total operating expenses are projected at $64.57 million. This budget scenario reflects an operating gain of $2.39 million before local depreciation charges and a balanced budget of net zero after local depreciation charges. Highlights of the 2018 operating budget include passenger revenues, $275,000 added related to the 2018 fare adjustments. Service modifications of $1.97 million are included in the reduced overall operating expense. Sales tax revenues, 2% increase versus 2017 projection, not including managed care organizations, the MCO tax. $2.3 million in state transitional aid included related to the loss of MCO sales tax. Self-insured medical insurance, flat, no increase. Self-insured liability insurance, flat, no increase. Diesel fuel projected $2.50 per gallon. Regarding the capital budgets, expenditures for 2018 are projected $55.23 million, with $44.84 million funded from federal and other local sources. Further, the 5-year capital budget includes many necessary revenue vehicle purchases, including 41 electric trolley buses at a total cost of $55.62 million, 66 diesel buses at a total cost of $30.55 million, and 25 small demand response buses at a total cost of $1.98 million. Cash reserves of $17.41 million will be required to purchase these revenue vehicles. Again, this is a 5-year budget, so there are many variables that ultimately impact the quantity and the type of vehicles purchased in the outer years. Mr. Rosinski and Ms. Stanforth provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Both of them are available for any questions that the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendations of the committee, I move to adopt the fiscal year 2018 operating capital budgets. Approval of the operating and capital budgets will allow the Secretary Treasurer to file the appropriate documents with the Montgomery County Auditor and to receive a certificate authorizing expenditures.
Was there a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we adopt the fiscal year 2018 operating budget and the fiscal year 2018 capital budget. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed? The motion is carried. We have adopted the 2018 operating budget and the 2018 capital budget.
Action item number 5, resolution number 2018-1-1, fiscal year 2018 annual appropriations. The trustees' adoption of the fiscal year 2018 operating and capital budgets will establish budget limits for the upcoming year. Trustees' approval of resolution number 2018-1-1 will appropriate the needed funds to carry out the activities approved by the budget documents. Ms. Stanforth provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in your board package. Mary is available to answer any questions that the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendations of the committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve Resolution 2018-1-1, fiscal year 2018 annual appropriations.
I'll second that motion.
It's been properly moved and second that we approve Resolution 2018-1-1, our fiscal year 2018 annual appropriations. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Resolution number 2018-1-1, fiscal year 2018 annual appropriations has been approved.
Action item number 6, platform-style steam bay hoist, including removal of existing and installation of new system. This procurement is for the replacement of a 3-post in-ground steam room hoist. Staff seeks to replace the lift with a flush mount platform-style drive-on lift. This project is consistent with RTA's core value of safety. The current lift is beyond its useful life and rusted beyond repair. The new unit will be recessed into the ground where vehicles can be driven onto it with the use of ramps and guides. The successful contract will provide all labor, material, equipment, license survey work, permits, fees, and other expenses required to successfully complete this project. Mr. Brown provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is in your package today. Mr. Brown is available to answer any questions that the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve a contract award to OTT Equipment for the platform-style steam bay hoist, including removal of the existing and installation of new system in the amount of $166,245. This procurement will be funded 80% through federal grant funds.
Is
I'll,
there-
I'll second that, Madam.
It's been properly moved and second that we award a contract to Art Equipment for our platform-style steam bay hoist. And that contract includes removal of existing and installation of the new in the amount of $166,245. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. We have awarded a contract to Art Equipment.
Action item number 7, heavy-duty alternator tester. The Greater Dayton RTA seeks to purchase a heavy-duty alternator tester for the maintenance facility located at 600 Longworth Street. This procurement falls under the core values of quality of service. The successful vendor will manufacture, deliver, and install heavy-duty alternator tester per specifications. In addition, the successful vendor will provide training on RTA premises for machine operators, technicians, and facilities maintenance staff. Mr. Brown provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is in your packet. Mr. Brown's not available, but Mr. Cole is. So if anybody has any questions, they can hit Mr. Cole up for any questions at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move to approve a contract award to Kirk's Automotive Incorporated in the amount of $129,000 for the alternator and $8,250 for the option item, for a grand total of $137,250. This procurement will be funded 80% through federal grant funds.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that we award a contract to Kirk's Automotive, $137,250 related to the heavy-duty alternator. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed? Okay. Motion carried. We are awarding a contract to Kirk's Automotive in the amount of $137,250.
Action item number 8, fence installation, 35 underpass. The Greater Dayton RTA seeking a contractor for installing a new fence and accessories on a lot just north of 601 Longworth Street and modifications to the existing fence located at 940 Veterans Parkway. This lot is partially under Highway 35 and borders an Ohio Department of Transportation property, as well as a building owned by A&B Metal. The lot is surrounded by the 601 building to the south, the Longworth Street to the east, Washington Street to the north, and Veterans Parkway to the west. This project falls under the core value of security. To complete this project, the successful contractor will provide all labor, material, equipment, license, survey work, permits, fees, and other expenses required to install approximately 1,000 linear feet of security fencing, enclosing currently unfenced areas, better securing some currently fenced locations, and more adequately defining RTA property. In addition to the fencing, there's concrete work, 77,000 square feet of gravel, and tree removal. Mr. Brown provided a detailed explanation at the committee meeting, and the supporting information is in your package today. Mr. Cole will answer any questions that you might have at this time. Come on, Mr. Cole's waiting for some questions. There's no questions for me. Hearing none, based upon the recommendations of the committee, I move to approve a contract award to Outdoor Enterprise for fence installation, 35 underpass in the amount of $564,000. This procurement will be funded 80% through federal grant funds.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Madam President.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. We award a contract to Outdoor Enterprise for fenced installation of the 35 underpass in the amount of $564,000. Are there any questions or comments? I do have one comment. Although the project falls under the core value of security, during the meeting when we received our presentations and we looked at the before and after projections, it also greatly enhances the appearance of the area. and that is important to us as well. So, are there any other questions or comments?
I would just add the comment that fits our core value of stewardship.
Yes, yes. Okay,
And it will look great. I really believe so. Clean up that area down there a whole lot.
okay. Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. We will be awarding a contract to Outdoor Enterprise for fence installation at the 35 underpass in the amount of $564,000.
Some additional items to mention, the September 2017 sales tax update. At the meeting, Mr. Thomas reported September 2017 sales tax receipts equal $3,108,210. And State of Ohio transitional aid is $383,788. Grand total of $3,491,998. Reflects a 0.1% or $4,000 decrease versus September of 2016. Year-to-date, September 2017 sales tax receipts equal $29,863,759, and the State of Ohio transitional aid is $1,151,363. Grand total of $31,015,122 reflects a 0.5% or $153,000 increase versus year-to-date September 2016 as compared to RTA's year-to-date budget. We are down $1.2 million. The November 2017 financial statements. Also, at our meeting, Mr. Thomas reported for the month of November a net loss after local depreciation of $260,765 compared to October of 2016 net loss of $96,635. November 2017 year-to-date net loss after local depreciation is $1,359,319 compared to year-to-date November 2016 net loss after depreciation of $2,695,898. Details associated with the financial statements are included in your packet today. And that will conclude my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Donaghy.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a few informational items. Obviously, the big decisions that have been made today mean the next phase for us is education for both our customers and significantly for not-for-profit organizations and social service agencies who rely on us heavily for their clients and some of the changes related to fares. I can assure you that in the past month, Brandon's people have already been working on that effort, and we'll get it done in time for the February 18th start. It's going to be a challenge, but we will certainly get there. We have a new business item we've requested coming up, and I'm going to make a pre-comment about that if I can. We are very pleased that we were able to achieve a 3-year successor agreement, tentative agreement with AFSCME here for our AFSCME represented employees. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank people like Stacy Benson-Taylor and our own Rocky Bogan and Kurt Freiberger, who they're the folks who negotiated on the AFSCME side of this, as well as our team, which was led by Chris Cole. Joyce Carter was on it as well, and Bob Stevens. That entire negotiation lasted only a handful of meetings. They came right to the table. Each side had their list. They whittled it down. They got down to business. And in nearly record time, we're able to reach a tentative agreement. We're very happy with it, and I highly recommend its approval here coming up. But I absolutely wanted to thank the people that were involved. They did a great job. They worked together at the table and got that thing approved. It'll be a 3-year agreement that's retroactive to December 1st and on from 3 years from there. And finally, I want to introduce somebody. We have a new face over at the dual tables over there, and in case you didn't get a chance to meet Roland on his way in. Roland Caldwell is our new Director of Transportation. He'll be working with Mr. Cole over there at the Longworth campus in the Cole empire that we have over on Longworth Street. we are very fortunate to get Roland to come and join us here. He brings over 30 years of leadership experience to our organization. To give you just a little bit of his experience, most recently he was the interim director of transportation for, of all places, the Central Ohio Transit Authority in Columbus, COTA. In this role, he was directly responsible for the overall operations of COTA's 2 bus garage operations, approximately 750 union and administrative employees. He also directed and led a 5 superintendent staff in the area of bus operations, street operations, dispatch training, ADA, and customer complaint investigations. He served many roles in his time at COTA, starting as a bus operator. You get extra points on that in Mark's office, no doubt. Quickly moved up through the ranks. He also held positions as a street supervisor, superintendent of ADA and complaint investigations, superintendent of dispatch, and superintendent of the Fields Avenue bus garage. So you can see he has a very wide range of experience in operations in our industry, and we are very excited. We're going to stop the gray hair count on Mr. Cole. We've been waiting for months and months to get this position filled. We're super excited to have Roland on board, and I want you to know that he started last night, actually. He wanted to come in and get an early start with us to get an idea what was going on with the inclement weather and that. So we're very excited to join Roland, and I'm sure after the meeting, board members that didn't get a chance to meet you before will get to meet you afterwards. And unless there are questions, that's all I have to report.
I just want to let you know that we scheduled this weather just as a test for you. Yeah, just as a test. So hurry up and pass your test so we can get rid of the weather. I have no old business to bring before the board. Next is new business. New business is action item number 1. Under new business is the ASME Local 101 labor agreement. In December of 2017, RTA reached a tentative agreement with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Ohio Council 8, Local 101, which represents approximately 60 clerical and support staff, for a 3-year renewal labor agreement. The membership ratified the agreement at its December 21st, 2017 meeting. The new agreement provides a 2% wage increase for each year of the 3-year contract. The new agreement also incorporates the 2018 wellness incentive for health insurance, providing a 10% premium share for those employees committing to the current wellness program, and a few work rule-related changes that are not economically significant. We appreciate the leadership of our internal AFSCME officers, as well as those at Ohio Council 8, Local 101, who worked diligently with the RTA negotiating team to deliver this fair and equitable renewal agreement in a relatively short period of time. The Chief Executive Officer recommends that the board accept the negotiated agreement as presented, and that he be authorized to do all things necessary to finalize, execute, implement, and administer this agreement. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
It's been properly moved and second that we accept the negotiated agreement as presented. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor of accepting the agreement as presented, please say yes.
Yes.
Those opposed? Motion carried. We have accepted the agreement with the AFSCME Local 101. Do we have any requests for public comment?
No, ma'am.
We are at the point where we will have board member comments, and I'll start at this end. Mr. Weckerson, do you have any comments?
Happy New Year to everyone, and other than that, I have no comment.
I just want to go to Roland. 13.
I have no comments.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome, Roland.
I would congratulate Mr. Duncan on his election as president of the union. I would also want to thank the union, as well as Mr. Duncan and his management team, for having deferred the strike vote that was taken, and thank him for his willingness to come to the bargaining table to enter into meaningful negotiations. So I think that was a very positive step moving forward, and I believe we are confident that an acceptable agreement can be reached in the distant future. No other comments, Madam?
Mr.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Oh, welcome aboard. Glad you're here.
Happy New Year to everyone. I just want to reiterate that we have very extensive meetings on the things that we take action on in these meetings. But Happy New Year. Roland, thank you. You meet the haircut requirement, and I appreciate that we have taken that into consideration for all future employees here.
What more could I say? No further comment.
Well, at this point, we do need to go into executive session to discuss the employment and compensation of a public employee. I will need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. We adjourn into executive session to discuss employment and compensation of a public employee. I believe we need a roll call vote on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Corrado?
Yes.
Ms. Hairston?
Yes.
Ms. Hurd?
Yes?
Mr. Hokie?
Yes.
Mr. Lumpkin?
Yes.
Mr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Wetmeister?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carried. We are adjourned into executive session to discuss the employment and compensation of a public employee. There will be no action taken when we come out of executive session. And I believe we're going to go into this room.